I saw a very interesting post on social media tonight and I thought I'd do a video on it. There's a DJ who has been getting some very interesting email correspondence in regards to his cleaned versions of tracks that he advertises. And some people are just saying, hey, look, we want you, we like you, but we really want you to play the unedited versions of songs. We don't want this clean stuff. Somebody else in one of their messages that I read said, we've decided to go a different direction because we really want the dirty versions of songs. So thank you very much for your time. It's a trend he's seeing. And I kind of get it, especially with songs like W.A.P out there right now. If you edit that song, there's not many lyrics at all. So there's a couple things that I just want to point out before I go any further. First of all, I understand why we want to play clean edits at events. Totally get it. I think people prefer the familiar versions of songs, and usually what they're familiar with is what they've heard on the radio. But I'll also point out that it's not my job, and I don't think it's our job, to be the moral police. I discovered this myself when I was doing an elementary school dance probably about 12 or 13 years ago. Soulja Boy, Crank That, was the big song. And a mother came up to me and requested it, and I kind of ignored her. She came back later and she was really insistent. Hey, I'm on the PTA. I hired you. Why aren't you playing Soulja Boy for my son? He loves it. So do you know what that song's about? She says, I really don't care what that song's about. My son doesn't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about. All I know is my son loves Superman, and it's the Superman song. So I played Crank That Soulja Boy for a bunch of 5-year-olds, and they all did the dance. Shame on me for trying to look out. But it wasn't my job to be the moral cop. I discovered it that night, and from there on out, that's been where I'm at on it. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't listen to. I'm only here to provide clean, safe things for you to listen to if that's what you want to listen to. So, we're not the moral cop, but yeah, I understand you don't want to go to an event and play songs with a bunch of F-bombs in them, because others in the audience will look at you and say, oh geez, that DJ played all unedited versions of songs. I don't like it. Maybe they're offended by it or something. Maybe they're not used to hearing that version of it, and it may reflect badly on you and your business. The good news is, we know more about this than they do. They are amateurs. We are professionals who've been doing this for a while. I got a really good idea from Mike Sanchez, and I've used it, and it's worked. But before I talk about that, I feel like the reason this particular DJ was getting this pushback from clients who wanted unedited music is because there was probably some kind of wording in their online material that suggested all of their music was clean. I think a reword of that would probably be best. And I'm going to look at my website and do it myself, where you don't say all of our music is clean. You say all musical content is FCC approved for radio broadcast. However, other options may be available upon request. To schedule your consultation today, call you or text you. I prefer texts. But anyway, once you get them sat down, you can point little things out to them that probably haven't occurred to them. Like, sure, we can play W.A.P right after your first dance. Let me ask you this, is Grandma going to be there? Yeah. Is Grandma cool with that? Ooh, I didn't think about Grandma. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. You can take this in a couple different directions. First, the Mike Sanchez method, which I love. Look, I understand you want to hear the unedited version of W.A.P. I have it. I can play it for you. But can I make a suggestion for you? What a lot of my clients like to do is what I call family hour. So what's that? It's like, well, for the first hour that I'm there, I'm playing all family-friendly music. It's edited for content. It's familiar. It's stuff your parents like. It's stuff that the little kids like. It's stuff the teenagers like. It's stuff you like. But it's family-friendly for the first hour. And maybe if you want line dances and things like that, it's a good place to put them. Or any kind of group activity you might want. Or, silly cheesy songs. Just stuff that motivates people and gets them dancing. Then after family hour, we can do whatever you want. And they may say, well, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. You can take it further and say, how about this? How about we do like an adult swim at 11 o'clock? Let's say the last hour of your event's 11 o'clock. That's how it works in my market. From 11 to midnight, we're going to do adult swim. We figure by that time, grandma's gone, your Aunt Betty's gone, your parents are gone. We're not going to upset anybody with WAP. What do you think? Oh, I love it. It's like, okay, cool. So we're going to keep it cool until 11, not to offend anyone, and then we're going to do all the stuff you want in one big block to finish off the evening. They may really dig that. But let me go back to this family hour concept for a minute. I've done it. It really works. I want to thank Mike Sanchez for giving me the suggestion. What normally ends up happening is you do this family hour and you've got a full dance floor. Everybody's happy. They're having a good time. You come to the end of family hour. They just want you to keep going because it's such a cool party. And that's what the rest of your night ends up being. Happens all the time. People get visions in their head, but they're not always realistic visions. But you can't tell them no. Or you shouldn't tell them no. And if you do, you might lose their business. But remember, you know more than they do about this. But what you don't want to do is tell people what to do. The best thing you can do is, anytime there's a change that needs to be made, somebody's asking for something that just may not be a good idea. Instead of telling them, that's a terrible idea, you should do it like this, which is essentially what we're doing by insisting on doing certain things, you make it sound like it's their idea. And then they love it. So instead of saying, your grandma's not going to like WAP, she's going to leave, so maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you could say something like, okay, we can do WAP, but, how would grandma feel about that? Ooh, grandma. Yeah. Well, maybe that wouldn't be a good time to do it. Okay, well, let's find another time to do it then. So you're like pointing things out to them and letting them ultimately make the choice, if that makes sense to you. It's just a perception thing, it's all it is. You're all going to Disneyland. You're just taking different roads to get there, if that makes any sense. So anyway, just a vlog on that. So if you have any questions or comments or anything else, let me know in the comment section. I hope this video made sense. I hope it helped somebody. I'm not going to hustle you for Patreon. And I'm not going to ask you to buy my DVD or, I don't know, give any money at all. But what I will do is ask you if you could please like and subscribe if you haven't. Maybe leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. And share it. Maybe you can share it somewhere too. That'd be cool. But anyway, above and beyond that, just know I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Practice and enjoy.